They're very deep here.
Lily's going to start things off. This is Yurchenko, 1.5. Little under rotation. You saw her take that step backwards, showing the judge. Again, great block off the table, but just a little under rotated in that twist. That is a 10-0 start value. Really nice job, but probably not the vault she wants.
The visiting Georgia Gym Dogs will open up on the bars. This is Addie Wall, and she has just done an amazing job for this program. She's part of that junior class that has been the key junior class for the Georgia Gym Dogs, which of course includes Lily Smith and Harley Tomlin as well with Addie Wall.
Addie is a really strong leadoff on bars. She's going to transition to the high bar. Maloney. Beautiful pack salto to the low bar. You want your leadoff to be confident, but you want your leadoff to be a guaranteed hit. Small step on the landing, but overall really nice form throughout that routine. Should be a nice start for Georgia and a nice score to start things off. Taking another look. This is her transition to the low bar. Really nice job gluing those feet together.
Back to the vault now for the Sooners. Kara Wells, the junior out of Augusta, Kansas. You see her vault average. She's tied for 20th in the country. Of course, this is just a couple of meets into the season. Still waiting on the score for Lily Peterson, leadoff vaulter.
This is another Yurchenko 1.5 twist.
There you go.
Wow, really nice job. Excellent height, distance, form. If I'm being nitpicky, there's the tiniest knee, I wouldn't say knee bend, but her legs just looked a little relaxed. You'll see right there. And that is like super nitpicky if I'm being honest.
He had a 9.925 last week in their meet against Missouri. Oklahoma got off to a slow start on the uneven bars, but roared back on the vault. It's rare when the Oklahoma Sooners have to come from behind to win. Back over to the bars now. Holly Snyder will be up for Georgia. Scores came in here for Lily Peterson for the Sooners on vault. You can follow the scores on that scoring tower on the right side of your screen. That indicates the 6 athletes that will compete for each team for those 2 events, the vault and the bars. Remember, they compete 6, they count just the best 5 out of those 6 towards the team total. We were talking about this last week with Trinity Thomas. There's been some coaches that have put out the idea, wonder if we should put 6 up, 6 down.
Now that I'm not competing bar, I think that's a great idea.
Might be a lot of pressure for sure. Here's Snyder.
Holly Snyder, pack salto to the low bar. This is an athlete that has an absolute just bag full of tricks. Maloney half there. Blindfold, into double tuck, and gets the stick. Now, Bart, she has the ability to do an even more difficult routine, but that is the beauty of these athletes coming from elite. They have the experience, and they just have so many skills to choose from. Really nice job by Holly. She's going to do a blind change, full pirouette. Nice job right on top of the bar, and then this dismount double tuck finds the landing. Ultimately, a really great job for Holly in that different bar routine that we saw from last week.
Holly has been a mainstay for this team on bars for the last few years. Elizabeth Blessy coming after. Kira Wells had a 9.9. Lily Peterson led them off with a 9.85.
Front pike with a half.
Oh, nice.
Really nice amplitude off the vault. Slight hop on that landing. Again, we are used to seeing Oklahoma just drill their vault landings. They really hone in on their stuck landings, but great execution. And just that, it was almost more of a shuffle backwards. You'll see right there. She just doesn't absorb that landing quite enough. Maybe you want to see her get her chest up a little bit higher, but a very difficult vault and very well executed.
This is the home opener for the Oklahoma Sooners. Of course, everyone in town has been sort of frightened by the pending snow and ice storm coming. So normally expecting a sold-out crowd here at the Lloyd Noble Center. A little bit thinner audience today. Was supposed to be this evening, but it was moved up to this afternoon to accommodate the storm. So hopefully all the athletes, officials, and fans can get home before this storm comes roaring into the Midwest. I hope you're going to make it back to Pensacola tonight, Bridget.
Thanks, Bart. I appreciate that. But if I don't, can I stay with you?
Absolutely. You're welcome to stay. Addie Wall was the leadoff competitor for Georgia on the bars at a 9.775. Holly Snyder's score is in. It's a 9.8. Looks like on the bars, the judges are recalibrating the scores. Take a look at what the judges are going to be looking for, Bridget.
They're really looking for those handstands right on top of the bar. And the release moves, they want to see you fly high. And of course, the last skill they're going to see is that dismount, and they want to see a step landing. Beautiful pack to the low bar. Maloney half, also called a Van Leeuwen. We are seeing that a lot in college gymnastics. Double tuck. The tiniest hop on the landing, but really, really strong performance. High fives all around. We're going to take another look here at this cast handstand. So this picture perfect, textbook right there. That is what the judges want to see. She is right on top of the bar in that 90 degree. You saw the green go into the yellow. There is a little buffer for athletes, but that is what judges are looking for. And then open tuck, double back, tiniest shuffle forward. Really well done.
Okay, we mentioned her at the top of the show. Here is this young superstar, Mackenzie Estep. Yes!
Wow! Oh my!
There you go. After Liz Blessy got a 9.9 and Kira Wells as well. How about that one for the young freshman?
I mean, Bart, are we going to see our first 10-0 of the day? Because that was sensational. Great height. Going to take a look here, make sure those legs were glued together. Yes, they are. Does she get her heels together? Absolute perfection. To me, that was perfection.
She was one of the most highly recruited athletes in the country last week, too. She was the SEC Freshman of the Week. Let's go back to bars for Georgia. This is Jeffrey Scott. Khalees Wolford had a 9.9 in that third spot for Georgia.
Jeffrey flying on this bar routine. So far, so good. Just the dismount. Double layout. Wow.
Quick correction on Georgia's lineup. They inserted Chenge Batchke in the second spot on bars. She scored a 9.8 in that second spot.
Just now, double layout. So well done. You saw where she landed. That chest was straight up. Perfect execution on that landing.
We'll see if Oklahoma can keep the momentum. Mackenzie Estep had a 9.95, so 3 scores 9.9 or better. The score grade out for Lily Pearson is the one they'd like to drop. Here's Elle Miller.
Another Yurchenko 1.5. Small step with that right foot. We're coming after Mackenzie Estep's 9.95. I got to see what the judges took on Mackenzie's ball, because that was pretty good to me. But Elle Mueller carrying that momentum.
Elle had elbow surgery in the fall, so we're seeing less competition from her to this point, but expect more from her right through the rest of the season. Autumn Reingold now up for Georgia. She had a mistake last week, but today she's coming after Jeffrey Scott's 9.9.
Autumn is a beautiful bar swinger from her toe point to her arm extension right there. Gorgeous cast handstand. Double way out. Oh, tried to hold that landing. Bart, you mentioned she had a mistake last week. Really nice recovery this week. College gymnastics, it's a long season, so very well done for her. This dismount's a double layout. It looks like you saw those arms. See how her arms just continue to kind of go backwards, kind of keeping that momentum going. Judges are going to take that deduction, but nice job overall.
Al Miller at 9.9. So 4 9.9s or better for the Sooners. And here comes Addison Feda. See if she can round off this incredible rotation.
Addison anchoring.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Yurchenko 1.5 twist.
KJ Kindler told us she's going to juggle the lineup around. Last week, Feda was in the second spot. Today, she is the anchor.
And I think that's what makes Addison so crucial to Oklahoma's lineups. No matter where you put her, she will deliver. Not just mediocre gymnastics, but excellence. And we just witnessed it right there.
All right, the Sooners are going to have an outstanding rotation 1 start. Speaking of outstanding, here is Lily Smith. She is just sublime on this event. Last week had a 9.95 for the Gym Dogs.
Gorgeous Maloney. Wow, bail right to handstand. Lily has, in my opinion, some of the best technique. Beautiful lines.
Oh, couldn't quite hold that landing either.
Tried to get the stuck landing, took a slight step with that right foot, but she is so clean overall. I mean, that routine there are no built-in deductions. Beautiful lines. Finishes, double tuck. And Lily kind of did the same thing. You saw those arms continue to rise, causing that momentum to continue to go. So hopefully next week and the next couple meets, she can work on just absorbing that landing a little bit more.
It's a good start for Georgia. Same score as they had last week on the uneven bars, so solid. And the Oklahoma Sooners, when Addison Feda's score is added in, that 9.95, OU with a 49.6. That's the highest score in the nation on vault so far this season. Waiting on the score for Lily Smith. And it comes in at E-Step got a score of a 9.975. It was raised, and Georgia's score on bars is a season high for them. So off to a great start. Here's Scheidler.
Beautiful release, pointed toes. So far, Hannah is really emphasizing this execution. Oklahoma always works so hard on the details. Wow. Perfect has handstand, the dismount.
There you go.
Holy moly. What a start for Oklahoma on uneven bars. Wow. That was excellent. Perfect has handstand. You saw a little teeny tiny break, but she holds that handstand, sticks this dismount.
I love the pointed toes and the full twisting double back somersault. KJ Kindler, one of her goals this weekend was to get some of those stuck landings. They didn't stick many landings on bars last week at Missouri.
Avery with that huge Yurchenko 1.5. That's a big step for Georgia. They really were working on those 10-0 start values. Jeffrey starting things off with that 9.75.
Avery Mole last week had a 9.9 at home in their victory over LSU, the first time they've beaten the LSU Tigers in a decade. That has caused a lot of buzz on the Gymternet that looks like Georgia is back. And Oklahoma will have to be Oklahoma if they're going to hold them off. And the Sooners have dominated the sport for the last several years, and part of it is the clean execution and polish, and that really matters in NCAA gymnastics, doesn't it?
It does, because you have to separate yourself from all the other teams, because you see these judges see a lot of the same skill. So you want to put yourself in a different category. What's going to separate us? And execution, in my opinion, is one of the best ways. And not only has KJ enforced that with her team, but she has truly perfected it on multiple events, and bars being one of them. The bypass handstands. You talked about, Bart, the toe point, even in a dismount. Sometimes dismounts are skills where maybe an athlete might get a little relaxed, they're almost finished with the routine, but Oklahoma does a great job of holding their technique throughout from start to finish.
This is a younger team that KJ is used to putting on the floor. They're taking more risks. This is not the Oklahoma way. Normally, we have a very senior, experienced team out there, but now relying on some youngsters and doing a great job. Shively had a 9.925. Here's Lily Peterson.
Wow! Great job there. Full extension. Oh, just can't get it back. That was a half pirouette. Does that skill, but you did see the feet hit the floor or on that kip. Just the dismount here. Nice stuck landing, but that mistake on that half pirouette. It looked like she caught her pack salto, which was her transition from the high bar to the low bar, a little bit far right there. You saw those feet hit the floor. Not the routine that Lily wanted to do, or the one that we're used to seeing, but finishes very well with that stuck dismount.
Last year, she competed 10 times in the all-around as a freshman. Once again, a young team for the Sooners. Now, speaking of young athletes, here's Kamara Williams. She joined the Georgia Bulldogs a month ago.
Huge Yurchenko, 1.5 there. Took a pretty significant step forward. No, Bart, you mentioned she just joined the Gym Dogs, and what an impressive athlete. Has really solidified her spot in these lineups so far.
Mara Williams, interesting story. She's so explosive, and she was originally scheduled to come next year to the Georgia Gym Dogs, but she's out of high school, and she said, why not? So she joined the team, and here she's been in college only a month, and she's been in, 3 or 4 meets and under pressure situations, and flying around the country in charter jets, and that's a whole lot different than high school, isn't it?
It is, and you know what? I think what makes her so impressive to me is just the fact that she loves gymnastics. She got to come to college early. Not many athletes get to say that, and she is just soaking up every single moment.
And tonight at 8:45 Eastern, Friday Night Heights rolls into Neville Arena as the #1 Florida Gators takes on number 11 Auburn. More gymnastics coming up on the SEC Network. Friday Night Heights here later on this evening. Like there's a score up for Lily Peterson at 9.725. Seem to be having some scoring issues with this system, so we'll confirm that. There's a couple of technical issues going on, communications between the floor and the scoring at this point. Ella Murphy, this could be a highlight for the Sooners.
Very nice transition to the low bar so far. Oh, Bart, another error on that half pirouette. Ella being one of the star freshmen in this Oklahoma Sooners. Step on that landing. But just a minor error on that half pirouette. She actually did a fairly good job recovering. We're going to take another look here. Has a nice transition to the low bar and her pack salto, but right here, you see her feet are on the wrong side of the bar. She does a very nice job recovering from that. Doesn't hit her feet on the kip, but right there, those feet need to be on the other side of the bar. It looked like she was ready for it. So really nice recovery for Ella on bars.
Isla Aquino now, the sophomore from Boston for Georgia.
Wow, I've been waiting for that vault because I love that vault. That was a soup full twist in a layout position. Actually, her coach, Marissa King, also did that vault.
That's right.
So explosive. And watch her extension. She flares at the end, showcasing that position, and she is excited, as she should be, Incredible job.
That's really hard to get that much distance from the table with that type of technique, different than the Yurchenko style. She's going forward onto the horse instead of backward. All right, let's see if Addison Feda will be able to get that distance right on her release moves today.
All right, right here.
Yes.
Oh, no problem. Addison is a competitor. We mentioned on vault, you can put Addison in any spot in the lineup and she will hit. Very well done. Coming after Lily and Ella, those two minor mistakes. Gets things right back on track. Take a look. This is a church, so difficult, and she actually connects it right down to her pack salto. Beautiful combination for Addison. And finishes with that stunning double layout. Very nice job.
You mentioned terms like church and pack. I mean, all of these skills are named after the gymnasts who first successfully performed them in international competition. Here's Addie Wall now on vault for Georgia. Nice.
Very well done. One thing I'm loving about Georgia so far on vault is the landings. They're not sticking the landings, which I know that is something that they were really working on, but they're really controlling the finishes. Great execution off the vault. Really nice job by Addie coming after Nyla's 9.9.
One of the focus for Georgia this week was to get some landings on vault. They only stuck one in last week's competition, hoping to dial them in, and they're doing well today. And that's the goal, I think, for the Georgia Gym Dogs. When they came in here, they said their goal is to finally hit 4 events solidly. They haven't done that yet for the full team for the season so far. Mackenzie Estep now on bars for the Sooners.
Nice job. Bail the handstand there for Mackenzie. So far, one thing Mackenzie does so well, she is an aggressive bar swinger. Gets to those pass handstands. Wow, I love the dismount. She does a blind full pirouette immediately into a tuck full in. A really difficult combination here. You see a lot of these athletes do giants into their dismount to gain that speed and momentum. Well, not for Mackenzie. This is a blind change full pirouette. She finishes right on top of the bar and goes right into her tuck full in. Little leg separation at the end there.
A lot of gymnasts do that full pirouette into a tuck double somersault. She added the full twist and just nailed it. Back to Georgia now. For ball, here's Jada Battle. Yes.
Another really good, really strong Yurchenko 1.5. I'm seeing a lot of 10-0 start values for Georgia, which is not how it's always been for them in years past. So really nice to see them not just doing good gymnastics, but doing great gymnastics. Didn't quite get the stuck landing there, Bart, something that I know they're working on, but another controlled landing for Georgia.
Georgia quite well known for their work on floor and beam bars. Vault has been one of the areas where they've been weaker in the last several years, but much improved this year for the Gym Dogs. Here's Faith Torres now, anchor for the Sooners on bars. Mackenzie Estep, a 9.925 after Faith's as well.
Faith absolutely flies on this event. Nice pack salto to the low bar. Half pirouette ends right in that handstand. She has one of the best dismounts in the country. Nice double layout there. Just a hop on the landing, but overall really clean set for Faith.
Okay, if she gets 9.5 or better, which is highly likely, obviously, the Sooners will retain the lead at the halfway point in this competition.
And this is a Ray. Beautiful toe point. You saw great arm extension, gets those grips right over the bar, and finishes with this double layout. We see the leg separation from this angle. The judges will not see it as closely, so really well done for Faith.
All right, we're at the halfway point in this competition here at Lloyd Noble Arena, the home opener for the Oklahoma Sooners. The Sooners will have the lead after this halfway point of this competition. KJ Kindler with her staff in their 20th season running this program. The reigning NCAA champions. They've won 7 of the last 11 years, so they have been one of the dominant programs. Of course, the Georgia Bulldogs were a dominant program several years ago. In fact, won 5 NCAA championships in a row from 2005 to 2009 under the leadership.
Coaching change, it does take time. It takes time to rebuild, and what I've really been impressed with Georgia's coaching staff is they are all on the same page. I mean, they all have the same goal. They feel like they are going to get there all the same way, which is really important because the athletes feed off that. You know, they feed off their coach's energy, and it just looks like they do a great job with that culture.
Okay, so we're at the halfway point of this competition, and of course, one of the highlights for the Georgia Bulldogs was Nyla, currently ranked 2nd. Addison Theta led off the Sooners last week against Missouri with a 9-9.
Addison going to start this routine here. This is her acro series. She's going to do a handspring layout step out. Really impressive there. You saw KJ kind of step to the side. It was a little crooked, but you would never know. That is what makes her so impressive. A nice hitch kick to switch side.
Down off the end of the landing mat, there's KJ Kindler with her hands on her hips. That is where she likes to be. Now, did you like your coach to be at the end of the beam?
I didn't really have a preference, but I will say, Bart, now that I'm doing a little coaching myself, I also stand at the end of the beam for the athletes that I coach, so I get it. I understand why KJ does it. You really get a full good angle of where an athlete is because you want to see them right over the top of the balance beam. And that is the best angle in this arena. Notice that. Dismount. Very nice start for Oklahoma on balance beam.
And as you said, she had to finesse that layout a little bit. It wasn't exactly on, but that's why she's a great leadoff.
Absolutely. And right here, full extension, beautiful toe point. And finishes. This is gainer full off the side, gets the stuck landing. That is what you want in your leadoff, is a strong routine.
All right, Erin Williams will be on floor now for the Georgia Bulldogs. She is replacing Holly Snyder. Holly has been pulled out of the lineup on bars as well as floor.
I watched Erin in warm-ups and she looked great. Opens with a stuck double pike. Great leap combination there. You saw toes pointed, knees extended. Front layout to front full. Nice finish there. She was a little crooked. You saw her take that step forward. Final pass for Erin. Doing 3 passes. Not something a lot of NCAA gymnasts do now.
Nice.
In a stuck double tuck. Wow.
How about that for stepping in for Holly Snyder?
Wow. Well, I think Erin Williams might have just solidified her spot in this floor lineup. That was incredible. First pass here. This is a double pike. Watch this landing. You saw her chest exactly where it needs to be, but this was just icing on the cake. This is a double tuck. Sticks it cold.
I like to see high level of difficulty of tumbling at the end of the exercise. That shows not only strength and endurance, but it's a little riskier than doing your first 2 tumbling passes in the first half of the routine and saving the rest for dance. Hira Wells now for the Sooners. Addison Fada, 9.95 in the leadoff spot.
Addison set her team up very well. Nice cat leap into, that was a switch side aerial, so unique. Nice full turn there. Gorgeous switch leap to split jump. Handspring layout step out. Really nice job.
I mentioned earlier that Oklahoma has been understood as the gold standard here on beam. Why do you think they are so exceptional?
I really think it's just the standard they have in practice. I mean, they compete like they practice. I've seen them in practice, and that is what they do. And it correlates. When you can do it in practice, it's easy to say it's just like practice. And they really represent that. And Kira does such a nice job of holding her finishes. Really nice split jump there. You see that front leg a little bit higher, but still showing that 180 degrees. And then finishes dismount round off 1.5 twist. So well done.
I think the routines are also well designed so that they can maximize the score, right?
There is such strategy that goes into NCAA in gymnastics at all.
Harley Tomlin now for Georgia on the floor. 9.875, great start for the Gym Dogs from Aaron Williams.
Big tumbling pass for Harley. Double Arabian into a stag jump. So nice. You don't see double Arabians performed a lot in college. So really refreshing to see Georgia, again, take the risk on that E skill, but do unique E skills. Gorgeous leap pass there. Switch half to Polpa. Harley coming after Aaron's 9.875. Wow, front layout step out to stuck double tuck, gets right to that lunge.
Fantastic.
Really, really well done.
I just love the difficulty in the tumbling. They're going for hard skills at the end of the routine. That takes guts.
Starts things off though. Round off, Arabian double front. Gorgeous extension. You see pointed toes, extended knees.
Sports fans might recognize the fact that Harley Tomlin, the daughter of Mike Tomlin, the former coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, he claims that she is the best athlete in the house. I believe that's probably true. I've often said pound for pound, these women gymnasts are among the toughest athletes you'll ever find. Hira Wells had a 9.95, the second one in a row for the Sooners on beam, and that brings up Ella Murphy.
Had a 9.925 last week. Acro series handspring layout step out.
You hear gymnastics people use the term beamers every once in a while. She's a beamer. Help the audience understand what that means.
It just means someone that can compete in any situation. And beam is the hardest event in gymnastics. It is 4 inches wide. No matter where you go, every balance beam is going to be 4 inches wide.
A little bit narrower than a sidewalk curve. It's narrow.
But she just does such a nice job of being a freshman and not being afraid to do skills like that. Stag jump where throws her head back, takes her eyes off the beam. And the dismount here, that's why she's a beamer, Bart, because she can do routines like that as a freshman. That's a huge compliment to be called a beamer as a freshman. The confidence is just oozing out of her. And this leap right here, beat jump, sensational.
We already had 2 9.95s for the Sooners, and the perfect execution continues with Ella Murphy. Part of that exciting freshman class. She gets some congratulations from undeniable Oklahoma legend Audrey Davis, who's now one of the assistant coaches. Here's Addie Wall on the floor. Georgia has 2 9.875s in a row.
Big E tumbling pass. It's a tuck full in. Nice job. Gets right to that landing. You saw that front foot shuffle just backwards a little bit. Judges are looking for deductions, and right there, just a small deduction for Addie. Up top, step out, round up, back handspring, double tuck. Very nice job.
Last year, Addie Wall qualified for the NCAA championships as an individual. Georgia did not go as a full team. They did not make the top 12 to get in there. And Addie Wall said, you know, this next year, we're all going to go. And she was determined to get the Gym Dogs back on that championship floor.
And you know, Bart, sometimes that's all it takes is that one experience, a taste of being at the NCAA championships. Came back in the preseason and said, guys, we got to be there. And this is how you get there. It starts now.
They spoke just the top 8 teams make the NCAA championships now, but it's quite likely that Georgia could be in that mix again this year as strong as they look. Addie Wall, who was the co-MVP last year, along with Lily Smith. Ella Murphy scored in on B for the Sooners, 3 straight 9.95s. 3 routines to go. With this kind of momentum, this is the kind of day where we're going to see a perfect 10.
I hope so. And Bart, Lily had a little error on bars. Let's see if she can get that out of her mind. That's the beauty of gymnastics, is you get to leave mistakes in the past. You can't carry them on to the next event, and Lily is so talented on balance beam. Very nice handspring layout step out there. Side thummy, great execution so far in this beam routine.
It's a risky skill in an NCAA routine. Help us understand how a coach poses a routine based on risk versus reward.
It's all about, to be honest, it's a give and take. You want the athletes to be confident in each skill. And if I had to imagine, KJ probably has a bag of tricks for Lily, including a round-off double twist for a dismount, but it's about composing these routines. It's like composing music. You know, you really compose a routine to maximize the scoring potential. And right here, this is a side summy, similar to a side aerial, in the same family, close cousins. And then finishes round-off double twist. You saw she took that step back, but a very controlled landing and a nice bounce back for Lily coming from bars.
All right, Kamara Williams now for Georgia. I mentioned she joined the team a year early. Now doing an awesome job as a freshman. Watch how colorful she is in this double layout. Talk about big tumbling. Here it comes.
Wow. Really well done. Leap series. Beautiful job. Gets those feet together at the end of that straddle full.
Talked to Cecile Concateau this week, and she said she and Marissa King did most of the choreography for the floor routines for Georgia, but Kamara wanted to do her own. She has her own style. You can clearly see she has the confidence.
Final pass here, front tuck, step out, round off, back handspring, double tuck.
Wow.
You would never know that she came to school in December, missed out on that preseason, which is really when athletes gel. That is when you start to really be able to see the lineups come to life. Who's going to do what, who's going to go where, and wow.
How about that? Kamara Williams, can you imagine? It was just a couple of months ago she was in high school, and now she's trying to find a way around a college campus and traveling with her team on chartered jets and delivering these kind of performances.
Opens up here, huge double layout, finds that landing, finishes. This is a combination pass, front tuck, step out to double tuck, and watch her landing. You see her. She could have had a mistake there because her chest was a little bit low, but she is a competitor. Really nice job for Kamara.
There's Elle Miller. She'll be 5th up for the Sooners. Lily Peterson's 9.85. That score is grayed out in your scoring tower on the right. That means that is the lowest score. Hopefully at this point, if the Sooners can keep the momentum, they would drop that 9.85. If Miller and Torres can hit in these last 2 spots. Remember, first 3 athletes, all 9.95s.
Handspring layout, step out. Really well done. You saw KJ in the back. Again, from that angle, she sees every little ounce of being crooked. And one thing that these Oklahoma gymnasts do well is they will finesse a landing. They are able to find the landing just like that. Or to switch shape to straddle quarter. I watched Ellen warm up, and she is fierce on balance beam. You're seeing it right here. From the dance to the skills, just the dismount. Wanted that stuck landing, took a step with that right foot. But KJ very happy so far with this beam team.
They have 5 hit routines, and that's the goal. Remember, you get 6. You count the best 5 towards the team total. Isla Pino set to go on floor. This is always a highlight. Tied for 6th in the NCAA with a 9.925 average. Here we go. This is fun.
And Bart, this first pass, this is a new pass for Nyla. Double layout.
Oh, yes.
Gorgeous. Such a great performer. Front tuck, step out, round up, back handspring, double tuck. See her teammates getting so into the dance. Goodness.
The coaching staff says she is always on, and that you see clearly in her floor routine. By the way, her dad, Jose, is a professional dancer, so it comes in the family.
Well, she doesn't just compete. I mean, this is a true performance. Starts things off. This is a brand new pass for her, double layout. And you want to talk about having fun. I don't think anybody can watch that routine and not smile.
All right, Faith Torres will be the final competitor for the Sooners on beam. Elle Miller has their low score so far, 9.825. Torres can finish off this outstanding rotation for the Sooners. They are already averaging over 9.9.
Difficult combination here. Wow. side aerial to layout step out. I don't know if I'm going to do a good enough job explaining just how difficult that is.
It's one of the hardest passes in college gymnastics.
And she nails it every single time.
Has been limited in some action because of a sprained ankle fall. No, will not see her on floor exercise. Kate Kinder wasn't clear on me. You might see her back in the lineup on the floor. She's comfortable here on me.
Dismount.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good one.
We've already seen 3 9.95s, and that was stellar.
Faith just doing what Faith does best, and that's great gymnastics. But right here, Bart, this is a side aerial, so no hands, right into a layout step out. The exact precision you need to be over the beam is so crucial. It finishes with a massive gainer full off the side. Really nice job for Faith. She seems happy.
Back to floor for the anchor competitor. This is Lily Smith coming after Nyla Aquino had a 9.9. So far, the high score for Georgia there is Kamara Williams' 9.95, but they have been exceptional here. As expected, the #1 team in the floor on this event. Now, this routine is quite different from the power tumbling we saw from some of the other athletes.
She's more, Lily is very powerful in her own right, but you're going to see more twisting elements. This first pass, for example, handspring double twist to punch front. Still a very difficult E pass. Yeah, you're not going to see the huge double layouts, but Lily is in a league of her own with her artistry.
Gymnastics fans might think of someone like Nastia Lukin, your Olympic teammate from 2008, in a similar style. Technique, execution, lines, and a lot of twisting techniques.
Yes, absolutely. Front handspring. Gorgeous. That was a front handspring 1.5 twist to straddle jump. I'm just in awe watching her. Bart, I know you want me to say so. She's just beautiful on floor. Her dance, her tumbling. One thing Lily does so well is you're going to see her hold her landings. She shows the judges you cannot put your pen to the paper here, because right here, front handspring, front double twist into a punch front, gets right to her finish, but this pass, 1.5 to straddle jump. Watch her finish here. Holds it, and then steps back to the lunge.
Well, the final score for Oklahoma on the beam was Faith Torres with a 9.975. That means Oklahoma, the highest beam score in the nation this year so far. Here is KJ Kindler, the head coach. What are you seeing that you like so far from the Sooners, KJ?
Let's see. Where should I start? Well, that stuck vault by Mackenzie Easteb, let's just talk about it. It was pretty good. I really did think bars, we got out of rhythm a little bit in that second and third spot. I loved how the last 3 responded to that because we probably weren't as sharp at the beginning of that lineup as we could be. Balance beam, we made a lot of changes after warm-up. We were just seeing some things that we kind of went a different direction. I'm really proud of them on balance beam. Elle Miller, like, are you kidding me? That's her first time in the beam lineup. She handled it awesome. I'm really proud of her.
KJ, you mentioned you got a little out of rhythm on bars.
Yeah.
You got it back on balance beam. What do you want to see from your team on floor? It's the last event in front of their home crowd.
Yeah, I mean, we need to finish. And by the way, what about this crowd on this, like, Snowmageddon day that they told us we're going to be under 10 inches? I'm so proud of our Sooner fans for coming out and braving the weather, so thank you, Sooner fans. But, we need to finish. We need to finish the way we started. We started aggressive on ball. We need to finish this event out. So excited to do it in front of our home crowd.
All right, congratulations. Good luck
you.
in the final rotation. So our score, the Oklahoma Sooners have a lead of about a half a point.
To these Sooner fans, because they are showing out tonight. One thing that really all gymnastics fans, I have to give them so much credit, they love good gymnastics.
Georgia We'll open up on the beam with Harley Tomlin. Talk about that inclement weather coming in. The Georgia Bulldogs have their charter airplane warmed up on the runway. As soon as they're finished with this meet, they're headed back to Athens, Georgia privately. So wishing them the best travel on the way home. But they're really doing what they had said at the top. We talked to Cecile Concato, and she said, this is, we want to have a meet where we have 4 complete rotations on all 4 events. That's not how they wanted to start off beam, however.
It's not, and that was a really difficult triple series. Handspring layout, step out. Looked like she was just a little off.
Now, not a lot of gymnasts elect to do a triple series in college. Once again, highlighting the fact that Georgia goes for hard gymnastics.
They went for hard tumbling passes on floor, and they're not afraid, like you said, Bart, to do the difficult skills on balance beam. Finishing. Round off 1.5 twists. Not the start that she wanted, but I have to say that's the beauty of being on a team. 6 up, 5 count right here. Handspring, layout, step out. It just looked like she was almost rotating to that side. Had a little dip in that right shoulder.
Lily Peterson will be the leadoff competitor for the Sooners on floor. Oklahoma ranked 11th in the country on this event. This is really where they're lowest ranked, but KJ Kindler said 4 of the 6 athletes on the team have never competed until this year on floor for the Sooners, so it's a very inexperienced lineup.
It is, and Bart, that is something that's new to this coaching staff at Oklahoma. They are used to having seasoned veterans in the lineups. So KJ mentioned to us, head coach for Oklahoma, that they're going to be testing the lineups here. They're going to be changing them throughout, trying to identify just what is the best lineup for the best scores. Really 1.5 step out to double twist. Neat combination there, nice extension. Nice start for Oklahoma on floor. Lily Peterson was not in the floor lineup last week, so she is a newer face to this floor lineup. And this is her second pass. It's a 1.5 step out to double twist. You saw those legs glued together. She does that head nod at the end saying, don't worry guys, I got this.
There's Tom Haley, one of the key coaches here for the Oklahoma Sooners. He, along with KJ Kindler, Lou Ball, 20 years leading this program to the successes they've had. Now, Harley Tomlin's score was only an 8-9, so Addie Wall is up. This adds a little extra pressure to the rest of the lineup because they need 5 hit routines now to keep this close.
Acro here. Very well done. So that was the same combination that Harley had her slight mistake, but it did lead to a fall, which a fall, Bart, unfortunately, that is a guaranteed no questions asked. 5/10 deduction for Harley there, but Addie doing a nice job getting her team back on track. That is her job right now, to just be smooth, confident, and do what she knows how to do. Little balance check there. You saw those shoulders and that arm swing on the landing. Dismount. Gets the stuck dismount. Nice job. Really the biggest error in that routine was just that balance check on her jump series. Gonna take another look here. She goes beat jump into a split 3/4, and you saw that chest just continue to go down. Overall, though, a very nice clean hit routine, which is what Georgia needs.
A good shot of the width of the balance beam. Ella Murphy, after Lily Peterson led off the Sooners with a solid 9.925. Oklahoma could be on track for a big team score.
And a stuck first pass for Ella. That was a front through to double tuck.
Oklahoma gets a 49.225 on floor. They would break that 198 barrier. That would make it the highest score in the nation so far in NCAA Gymnastics. Georgia themselves having a really good meet as well, but still a half point down.
1.5 to lay out. Nice control there. Beautiful extension. Head coach KJ Kindler does the choreography for the Oklahoma routines. Really sets them apart with their artistry. And that was a really nice job for Ella coming after Lily Peterson's huge 9.925. This was a front tuck step out through to double tuck, and you're going to see her stick this. Locked out those knees just a little bit early, but holds on and then finishes with a combination 1.5 to lay out.
The score for Addie Wall, 9.75 for Georgia on beam. Another athlete who had replaced Holly Snyder, who was pulled from the lineup earlier today on both bars and floor. He has an unspecified injury and not competing. So a little bit of a gut check here for the Georgia Gym Dogs. But after Tomlin's 8.9, Addie Wall came back with a respectable 9.75. Oh.
Nice recover there.
Elise Wolford, a freshman.
Bart, these are the difficult situations that you don't want to see, but these are moments that are very big for this Georgia team. Learning to bounce back. Dismount. Double twist, really nice job on the execution there. Just that slight balance check on her handspring layout, step out. We talked about Oklahoma's team being very young. Well, Georgia has a similar situation with just a lot of young athletes in the lineup.
Elise Wolford delivered a clutch routine last week after the fall for Anya Turner and kept Georgia on track, allowed them to have their first victory over the LSU Tigers in a decade. Camila Pavlak now for the Sooners after Ella Murphy had their second straight 9.925. Pavlak, the freshman from Melissa, Texas.
Opens up with a double pike. Great finish. On these leaps. The one thing that is a little different for Oklahoma on floors, they don't have a lot of the huge tumbling, so a lot of their bonus is going to come from their dance, their leaps, and they really focus a lot on their leaps. From the toe point to the knee extension. Final pass. Nice 1.5 to front full. Job there, really well done. Like I said, we're not going to see the huge tumbling from Oklahoma on floor, but their leaps are so well done. Going to take another look here at what I'm talking about. But this first pass, double pike, great control on that landing. Right here. Just beautiful lines. Again, these judges are looking for deductions, and the best thing for athletes, don't give them a reason.
Lily Smith now for Georgia, coming after Khalees Wolford had a strong 9.85, their high score so far.
Gorgeous front aerial to back handspring. Beautiful cat leap to switch lead. Lily has gorgeous dance on floor and really takes that to balance beam. She looks so calm up on balance beam. Here, this is a front toss. Oh my gosh. One of the best ones in NCAA, if not one of the best ones I've ever seen. Lands that almost standing straight up. Dismount. Front aerial to split jump. Ends up dropping that shoulder a little bit, but kept moving. And here for the dismount. Back handspring gainer full. And finds the stick. Biggest deduction was that front aerial, and you saw she just kind of dipped her shoulder, Bart, but she did a good job of continuing her arm swing, not breaking that connection. But right here, this is a front toss in the pike position. I should almost say laid out position, because that is so difficult. But right there, you see the judges are looking again for the deductions, and right there, she kind of gave them a reason. That shoulder dipped, the feet might have moved, breaking that connection.
However, Georgia probably on target for their highest score of the year so far. And you mentioned earlier, high away scores matter because they qualify to the postseason based on a combination of their home and away scores. And this year, there's a big emphasis on the away scores. So a great opportunity for Georgia, even if they don't end up beating the Sooners here today. Here's Elle Miller after Camilla Pavlik at a 9.95.
Very well done. Front tuck step out to double tuck. Front layout, front 1.5. A little short on that twist. You saw you want your feet to be facing whatever direction you're twisting in, and she's a little bit short there. Got to her lunge quickly, so we'll see what the judges saw. Beautiful extension there.
Wow. Breathtaking.
I can't even explain it sometimes with Oklahoma's dance and their artistry. It's just, it's so, you have to watch it and you have to say, wow.
And a lot of it starts with really creative, interesting music. And then you got to find the athlete who can do it.
Well, and that is half the battle, Bart, because it is so difficult to find the perfect music for the athlete. They work endlessly on finding the right piece of music. We talk about strategy, and that is part of it. On-floor exercise is finding the right strategy for each athlete, and again, capitalizing on the scoring potential.
Jeffrey Scott will be the 5th competitor for Georgia on the beam, 9.725, the score for Lily Smith before her. Keep in mind, when Harley Tomlin got the 8.9, that's the score they're going to want to drop. And remember, you count the best 5 out of 6 scores. So Georgia can come away from this competition with a really solid away score, even if they do not defeat the Sooners today. The Sooners look unbeatable right now with another 9.925 in the bank for Elle Miller and 2 athletes yet to go. Sooners will clearly break the 198 mark, which is the score to earn if you are in contention for a national championship. You got to be 198 or better. Here's Jeffrey Scott.
Jeffrey starting things off. That was the required full turn. Every athlete will do some type of turning element. Jeffrey gets it out of the way quick. Acro series here. Beautiful handspring layout, step out. Jeffrey is so fluid on being, from her dance to each skill. Nice job there. Beautiful extension. Jeffrey is really the perfect combo of, not only is she powerful, the famous moonwalk. Every Georgia team has somebody do it.
Somebody draws the short straw and they're required to do the moonwalk in their floor routine, beam routine.
And a gorgeous front 1.5 off the beam. But one thing, Jeffrey, she is flexible, but she is powerful. She is really the perfect combination for an elite athlete here in the NCAA. Showing off this flexibility right here. Switch lead.
Beautiful.
The split right where she needs to be at. 180, I mean, no question of whether that was 180 degrees.
Here's Mackenzie E-step. Elle Miller had that 9.925. E-step having an outstanding day for Oklahoma.
Such a difficult combo. Front layout to double twist. When we talked to head coach KJ Kindler, she said this floor routine, she wanted something fun. She is so smiley and just fun in the gym, and she wanted to represent that with her floor routine.
Clear to see why E-step was the overall #1 recruit in the 2025 freshman class. She has it all. Power, technique.
Well, Oklahoma doing a phenomenal job on floor.
E-step in her first meet, the Sprouts Collegiate Quad. She shared the floor title with somebody everybody knows, Jordan Chiles of UCLA. So this is the kind of quality gymnastics we're seeing from E-step.
So fun. And does great tumbling. This is a round off 2.5 twist. You see she gets right to a pose. And that, again, talking about the strategy. Head coach KJ Kindler does a really good job with her athletes on minimizing deductions on the landings to show right into the choreography.
Expect great things from Mackenzie E-step, just getting started, but her potential is clear. Jeffrey Scott's score on beam was a 9.8. Big routine here now for Georgia to get a great team score because Anya Turner is in that anchor spot. Last week she had only a 9.075.
It was right here, the mistake.
Oh, she saved it.
Saved it. And this is, again, we talk about the risk versus reward. That is a very challenging triple series. Handspring layout, step out, layout, step out. She could just do one handspring layout, step out. So I love that they're taking that risk. But sometimes you might want to change it up every now and then, kind of have that in their back pocket. These athletes come to college with truly a bag of tricks. I mean, they are so capable of so many skills, and it's just figuring out what skill should go in the routine.
All right, but hats off to the Georgia Gym Dogs, because they could do easier routines, as you say, but they have do you think they'll keep these routines throughout the rest of the season, or do they have to make routine choices later on that are going to be maximizing their scores?
Well, Bart, I am not a head coach, so I'm not going to be able to answer this as well as probably a head coach could, but I love that they're taking the risk.
I do too.
I really do. It separates them from other routines, but at the same time, maybe being able to have a little, quote, watered down, even though it's still very difficult, isn't a bad idea.
Here's Addison Feta now in the anchor spot. 9.925 is the score for Mackenzie Eastep. As you see, the Sooners have a 198.425, by far the highest score in the nation so far this year, and the highest score on floor. And yet here comes one of their best.
First pass, front layouts, full step out. That's a mouthful, right into a 2.5. Front handspring, front double twist, again a little short on that twist. She didn't quite get the double all the way around.
Oh, yeah.
Really well done for Addison. Just that last pass just didn't quite get that double twist all the way around. But Oklahoma putting up a huge, even without Addison's score right now, they are at a 49.65.
It's time to bring out Boomer Sooner. You hear the band playing behind, because Oklahoma will come out of this one with the highest score in the nation. And I think KJ Kinder will be quite proud of the effort today. She told us earlier in the week, she said, I really like the situation. She said, you know, when we competed at Sprouts, we were almost afraid to lose. And then she said, last week we got behind at Missouri and we had to come back. So she likes putting her team in all these different situations to get them prepped for the postseason.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing about gymnastics, is being able to compete no matter what. And talking about being able to compete no matter what, Addison Feta was exceptional tonight. Started on ball. This was a massive Yurchenko, 1.5. Takes it to bars. Had a mistake last week, no mistake this week, and leads her team in that spot for balance beam and anchors for floor. I mean, she had one great night tonight, and just short on that last pass by being picky.
39.75, a spectacular day. No score below 9.925 for Addison Feta.